All right, welcome to American National Government, Section 1791. My name is Jonathan Parker. I'm your instructor for the course. This is a hybrid course, so I will see you all physically on Wednesday. Although I was informed that there was some sort of schedule mix-up, so I might end up seeing some of you tomorrow morning. So we'll figure it out, whatever it is. So welcome back for another semester, and this is the standard syllabus talk. But don't tune out, because when you come see me on Wednesday, there's going to be a quiz that I'm going to hand you right away. All right? So there is a syllabus quiz. It is a physical quiz. It will be something that you are handed on Wednesday when you walk in the door. So I will find out who actually watched this video then. But let's begin. All right, first things first, what I need to show you. There is a course textbook. It can be found under course information. All right, Open Pearson. You just click on that. And I have appropriately named it the class textbook. All right, just keep in mind with this that we are only ever going to be reading from this book. We're not going to be at all, at any time, ever, for the next 16 weeks, turning anything in on Revel or any of the associated sites that go along with this. We're not going to do it. Okay, so never turn anything in here. I've had students that have got lost doing that, whose work has gotten lost doing that. And I mean, sometimes we were able to salvage it and they got a grade, sometimes not. I wouldn't take the chance. So just read the book. We are not doing any assignments in the book. Never turn anything in on Revel. All right. There is, if you are like me and prefer I thought I had the textbook down here. If you prefer a textbook, there are a limited number of these in the ICC bookstore that I'm aware. I could be wrong. They could also all be gone by this point. I don't know. But you've already paid for the ebook, all right, through your tuition, what you paid for the class. And we legally have to give you the option to opt out. That is a federal mandate. Don't do it, though, unless you have another source. If you bought a hard copy of the textbook, get your money back. Click the opt out, get your money back. That's fine. But if you have no other way of getting the textbook, then I would not opt out if I were you. So if you go to course content, open up the syllabus. All right, we're not going to read this whole thing verbatim, but you are section 1791. That is important to remember, because I was sure shooting I'm going to mix you guys up with section 1790, who I see physically on Monday and then have to provide a digital lesson for on Wednesday. So, Wednesday, you are in person. Monday and Friday is virtual. This is where it gets confusing. Wednesday in person, Monday, Friday, virtual. Monday, we cannot do a synchronous anything, meaning like a Zoom meeting or anything like that, because I'm teaching a class at that time on Monday. Friday, we may do synchronous, asynchronous, just depending on the week, the mood of the class, how far we've gotten. It just really depends. All right. So it's from 10 to 10. So keep the 10 to 10:50 slot open and anticipate that you are, well, don't anticipate, you will have something to do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 10:50. If I'm not seeing you, normally it'll probably, whatever it is will be due by 10:50 a.m. So contact information, jonathan.parker@icc.edu. Please, 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 please make sure you spell my name right. I've had many students in the past spell Jonathon or Johnathan or something like that, and then get really mad at me because I didn't respond to their email. Well, I never got the email. Somebody else did, or it disappeared into the ether. All right? So, jonathan.parker@icc.edu, and that'll come right to me. My office is in room 216C. I do share with other faculty, adjunct faculty, although I'm not sure how that's going to work this semester, if anybody will ever actually be in there. But I will be in there from 12 to 1 and 2:30 to 3:30, so don't hesitate to stop by. In fact, I actively encourage it. Since I've had office hours, I think I've had three students maybe ever come by to see me. And if those don't work and you really, really, really need help, I'll try to work something out with you. No promises that can or will happen. No promises at all. That is largely dependent on my schedule. Okay? So, hybrid courses will include online instruction and on-campus attendance to complete labs or hands-on experiences. Well, there definitely aren't labs. There probably won't be hands-on experiences. Some, maybe, but not all the time. This will be reserved for courses requiring face-to-face instruction for hands-on learning. The on-campus experience will include social distancing, specific entry and exit points, and personal protective equipment for students and faculty. All right. So, you can read the course description on your own. You can read point A on your own. Point B you can read on your own. Again, this is the text. If you want to buy the text, you are free to do that. You have paid for it. It is part of your online fees. So you do have it, but sometimes this hasn't been helpful to the students. So I've provided the ISBN number, which will get you right to the book if you just punch that into Amazon. All right, and I've showed you how to access that through our Blackboard page. We certainly will be looking at other things throughout the semester, such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom, Washington's Farewell, Eisenhower's Farewell, and the Federalist and AntiFederalist Papers, and probably more, depending on how quickly we move and your guys' interest in the material. So, course policies. If you need to get a hold of me outside of class or my office hours, please utilize the email address listed at the top of page 1. And please spell my name correctly so I get your email. All right? If you don't get a response from me, that would be the first thing I would check. Did I spell his name correctly? And I will try, I will respond to all emails within 24 hours. This is a class where I prefer, anyway, I like to have you print out your homework, turn it in physically so I can write on it, give you feedback that way. In my opinion anyway, it's a much more thorough way of doing things. So, unless otherwise specified, I will not accept any electronic forms of submission for classwork. Everything you hand in must be a hard copy that you print out and bring to class. If you are sick, for just a quick aside, please, if you are sick, please do not come to the class. Just email me when you're able. Mr. Parker, I was sick. I've been sick, whatever. I do not want you in the room if you are sick. I was a germaphobe before the pandemic. The pandemic has only made that worse. So please do not come to class if you are sick. I am very, very serious. I am probably the only teacher you'll have that will ever thank you for not coming to class for that reason. And we'll work something out. All right. If you are sick, and how to get you caught up. So if you're sick, email me and bring a hard copy of your work into the next class that you attend. So everything will be due on physical days when we're physically together. So unless we discuss it previously, there should never be an instance where you are emailing me an assignment. And that, obviously can change. If there's a Friday thing or a Monday activity I have you guys do, and I say, just email it to me. Well, then you just email it to me. So just, follow directions. Note, and this is just, I've gotten this email quite often. I can't come to class because I need to study for a test I have later. I'll turn in my work next class. You're not going to be turning anything in if I ever get an email from any of you like that. That is just, that it's awfully disrespectful, and we'll just leave it at that. So, academic citation. So you're required to cite your source if you use a direct quote from a book, article, website, etc. You paraphrase a chunk of text from the book, article, website, etc. You present a theory, argument, opinion that does not belong to you. I'm very, very strict about this. You need to cite. You need to turn in your own work. If you don't, it takes time to develop original ideas. I get that. If you don't, you need to cite. Even a blanket thing at the end. All of this information was pulled from the O'Connor and Sabato textbook. That's better than nothing. That's not exactly what I'm looking for, but that's better than nothing. All right. And a bibliography. We use MLA8 format in this class. I've even taken the thinking out of it for you. If we go to EasyBib, it should work. Well, if you go to easybib.com, I'm just typing it in the address bar, and click on Create Citations, website, book, journal, whatever. I've taken all thinking out of it for you. There's no excuse for you not to cite something. All right? If you need to do so. So you just click on this Create Citations. Book. What is an ISBN? Well, we can cite the textbook here. There we go. We didn't find anything. Search by ISBN. We'll try this a different way. There you go. All right, so it'd be under website in this case. There's the book. I mean, it did everything for you there. Data accessed August 16th, the URL, article title. There you go. I mean, no thinking involved. All right. So inline citations are expected also in any writing assignments that you turn in where you've used outside sources. Outside sources are things that are not given to you by me. If I give you a copy of the Federalist Papers, if I give you a copy of the AntiFederalist Papers, whatever, I know where you got it from. All right. But if you choose to go above and beyond and, cite a biography you read of one of the authors of the Federalist Papers in your answers, I would expect to see inline citations, it be included in your bibliography also. So if you have any doubts about whether something needs to be cited, just cite it. Just cite it. I mean, it doesn't take long. Don't take chances with your grade. And please, please, please also remember that Wikipedia is not an academic resource. It is just not. I know some of you probably disagree with that statement. Some of your former professors, teachers probably disagree. It is not. Anybody can get on there. Anybody with any sort of qualification or none at all could get on there and edit any sort of article. It's not a reputable source. If I see it in a bibliography, if I see it in an inline citation, if I see it wherever, it's going to negatively impact your grade. Mr. Parker, you ask, how will it negatively impact my grade? How much will it negatively impact my grade by? Maybe I'd like to do this. Well, my answer, do you really want to find out? And I'll leave it at that. So academic misconduct, plagiarism, this is a running theme if you haven't noticed. So please visit page 24 of the Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook, and there are multiple forms of academic misconduct that are listed there. So to sum it up, this is the big takeaway. If you choose to engage in academic misconduct or plagiarize, whether intentionally or not, you can plagiarize unintentionally. Also, the handbook says this: based on the severity of the offense, the instructor may recommend failure for an assignment or failure for the course. Multiple instances of academic misconduct could include sanctions up to dismissal from the college. And every semester I've taught here, students have tried to pull the wool over my eyes, unsuccessfully. Every semester, without exception. The first time I catch you plagiarizing, you get a 0. Whether it's a 10-point assignment or a test worth a lot more than that. You're going to get a 0 for whatever assignment you plagiarized. You're not going to have any opportunity to redo it. And this includes, major writing assignments, also tests, and, anything. 0 points, 1 point to, 200, whatever it is. The second time I catch you plagiarizing, I will fail you for the course. Look at me. The second time I catch you plagiarizing, I will fail you for the course. Don't test it. No exceptions will be made. All right. So late submissions. As a rule, I do not accept late work. I know sometimes things come up. I get it. That might prevent you from turning something in. If a circumstance like an illness, again, if you're sick, don't come to class. Do not come around us. Or death in the family or anything like that does occur, make sure you talk to me. I'm not usually going to ask for proof there. I put that in there because it's it's come close a couple times, but I've had people who, like six grandmothers have died and four grandfathers have gone to the ICU, and just a ridiculous amount of things that I won't judge it, that probably weren't true. So if we get to that point, I'm going to start asking you for proof. All right. But if it's, a one-off event, if it's something, I'm going to take your word for it. You're all adults. We're just following the honor code on that. All right. But if you come with me, and this actually happened, which is why it's in the syllabus, somebody said, I went to a Chris Brown concert last night, or I had other homework to do. Chris Brown, you're not turning anything in. You chose to go to a concert instead of doing what you should have been doing. You're not turning anything in. So something like that, no, I'm not accepting it. Okay. If we, have something that's beyond your control, yes, let's talk. All right. Grading scale. Standard 10-point grading scale. 90, 80, 70, 60. All right. Methods of presentation. I'll let you read these. I just want to draw your attention to number 4. So on virtual learning days, video lectures and assignments will typically be posted on Blackboard. Like I'm going to post this on Blackboard when I'm done recording. So some that should say Mondays and Fridays might be asynchronous. All Mondays are going to be asynchronous. Some Fridays might be. But I would keep the 10 to 10:50 a.m. time slot open. I would anticipate a few Zoom meetings over the course of the semester. So, yeah, should be Mondays. And again, I can't hold Zoom meetings or anything like that because I'm in a class at that exact point in time. So, what you really want to know, how are you going to be graded? So, 80% of your grade. You're going to have a test, 2 tests, quizzes. I haven't quite made up my mind. Sometimes classes have needed just kind of quick quizzes to jog their memory. Other semesters they've not, so I leave the option open. But at least 100 points in quizzes. Test 2, there will be a pre-test. You should take that also on Wednesday. The post-test, you're going to get 25 points just for taking the pre-test, by the way. It's just something you take from me at the beginning. The post-test, your grade stands. Attendance, we'll come to that, 100 points. Term paper, 150 points. Mini-speech, 50 points. Federalist Papers, 170 points. Book assignments, 120 points. And classwork, homework, as assigned, at least 125 points, but probably more. Then you'll take a final. That's worth 20% of your grade. I'll explain that to you when we get to final exam time. So that I'll let you read. These are just some sources I found. I know, we live in a pretty politically charged climate, but these are all, either, in my estimation anyway, center left or center right. They were as close to center as I could find. So I do with it what you will. But I'd encourage you to look at these sites. So miscellaneous here. First off, because the first notice there takes a little longer to explain, I'm not going to chase you down to make sure you do your work. It isn't high school. I know quite a few of you are freshmen. It's not high school. I have my degrees. It's up to you if you want to put in the work and be responsible and pass the class and be on your way to earning yours. That's up to you. If you miss a class, you don't expect me the next week to come up to you and say, oh, Johnny, you missed this, that, and the other thing. It's not going to happen. Ask when you come in ask a classmate what you missed. If you don't do that, you're going to start seeing a lot of zeros on Blackboard. All right. The course also is somewhat cumulative in nature. And I don't advise taking a test and then forgetting about the material. And this is fine since we're back to paper tests where you can go back and look at your answers. The course runs so that one topic really builds on another, and you're going to be hearing and dealing with everything we study throughout the semester. So keep your notes and study. So like some topics are, well, all topics here are important, but some topics are more important than others. So like federalism, that's the basis for, our whole system of government, really. So, you might see that on test 1. You might see questions about that on test 2. I might throw a quiz at you just dedicated to federalism. So I would certainly remember what we learn about that. All right, that's just one example. So attendance policy. So you're expected to attend class each week. This course is hybrid. Yes, I know. Attendance is not just signing onto the computer and listening to me 2 days a week. You also have to come in. I know I just blew a couple of your minds there. When you come in, I can't show names, but there'll be a piece of paper sitting in a binder at the front of the table that you will sign in on. And that will let me know that you were present for the class. If you don't sign in on this sheet of paper, you weren't there. And that's just all there is to it. I am a teacher at Lincoln College, Heartland Community College, as well as ICC. I have literally hundreds of students. So I can't keep track of, if whoever was in a class on Wednesday in September, you've got to take responsibility. All right. But so there's a 100-point grade attached to you showing up both physically and virtually to encourage attendance. So on virtual days, I will be checking to see that you log into Blackboard and complete assignments. And I've had people try to pull this one on me too. Blackboard does keep track of when you all log into class. Blackboard does keep track of when you all log in. So I can quite literally run a report of when student number 1 on my sheet here has logged in and know every time she's landed on a page or looked at a quiz or done whatever. So the machine doesn't lie. All right, log in. Just do the work. If you follow the instructions, if you do what you're supposed to, this class really isn't that hard. I say this every semester, and there are still students who contrive to fail my class. This is a hard class to fail. You have to really want to. You have to really, really want to fail this class in order to do so. And I don't know, 3 or 4 of you will. But that will ultimately be up to you. So when we are in person, look for the binder in the front of the room and sign in. And this is, again, for reporting purposes. The college still asks who came to class and when. If they're non-attenders, the never attenders. Again, I work at 3 different schools. I see quite a few people over the course of a week. If you didn't sign in for a class on a physical day, you weren't present. The virtual days, up to me to log in and check. And we can have fights about those when it comes time to tabulate the attendance grade. But the physical classes are on you guys. So when it comes time for me to determine attendance, I'll look at the binder to see when the last time you came to class was. And again, I'll keep these in a binder for, reference and for you guys to sign in. So I'll look at that. I'll look at Blackboard to see what, if any, assignments you turned in. You can't miss lectures and not turn in homework and expect to stay in and succeed in the class. You just can't. All right. The college handbook says 5% of classes missed during a semester constitute an excessive number of absences for a class and may merit being dropped. That's 1 week, guys. That's 3 classes. So that'll be the guideline I will use when determining non and never attenders. So I've had to, and I've hated it, but I've had to drop students for excessive absences. This isn't, this is not why I became a teacher, to give people Fs, to drop them from the class, to do all these things. These are unfortunate byproducts of bad decision making. Please make good decisions. Let this be a semester where I teach and you learn. And you teach and I learn, when we'll talk about the assignments later. So let's just make that deal right now, that I'm not going to have to do any of this stuff, because this wastes a lot of your time and a lot of my time. All right. So the takeaway from the syllabus: keep an open line of communication. If you know you're going to miss a class, I get it. We all have lives. This is, we're still in a pandemic. This is an ever-evolving situation. Just keep an open line of communication with me. Hey, Parker, I don't feel well today. I'm not going to be able to make it in. That's fine. That really is fine. Just don't ghost me. I've had students do that too. They stop coming to class in September and they show up halfway through November or something like that, and they ask me what they can do to raise their grade. Well, no, not at that point. So keep an open line of communication with me. You will be just fine. You will learn something. You might even enjoy yourself. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. So we're going to look at a wide variety of things, starting with the Magna Carta once we get through the introduction, which should be by the end of the week. Some of these things, like the Magna Carta, that's a unit of my invention, meaning it won't be found in your textbook. I made it. The Fundamentals of American Government, that was adopted from another school that I used to be employed by, that I thought would translate into our curriculum pretty well. Political parties, campaigning and elections. This should all be in your textbook. This all is in your textbook, excuse me. Eisenhower's farewell. I do bring in outside sources. Washington's farewell. Our outside sources probably, not probably, these will be things that aren't in your textbook that I'll hand out in class when I see you. Midterm, this is what the TBA is. This is around midterm time, typically in the past anyway. I don't know how we're going to move this semester. I haven't covered enough to have another test by this point. So we may have a quiz, we may have a midterm, we may have nothing. I don't know yet. We'll know a little closer. I'll let you know, and I'll know myself based on how we're moving through the class, closer to whenever, probably October. Congress, Supreme Court, the Bill of Rights. This is where we get back into my research and my units that I have created. So the Bill of Rights, the Amistad case, Dred Scott, Virginia statute for religious freedom is a piece by Thomas Jefferson. The Amistad case and Dred Scott are also two very well-known Supreme Court cases. So natural law, political participation. I mean, we'll get through. Normally, the semester ends around point 14, but we will certainly keep going if there is time. All right. So the final exam will be held on Wednesday, December 8th in our classroom from 10 to 11:50. Or, if you'd rather, I gave you guys a choice, Friday, December 10th from 10 to 11:50. I mean, your choice, but come to one, right? It's 20% of your grade. So come to the Wednesday exam or the Friday exam. It's up to you. All right, Labor Day, we have off. Thanksgiving break, Monday, November 22nd to Sunday, November 28th. And the last day of class is Monday, December 6th. Typically, I've done a guest lecture series. Now, there are a lot of restrictions on who can and cannot come into the college at this point in time, so I don't know if that'll happen. If I can make it happen, I will. If I can get someone over Zoom, I mean, I like to bring in people whose voices are not, are different than mine, to give you a wide perspective. And also, you get tired listening to me after a while. No promises, but if I can make it happen, I will make it happen. All right. And just the standard disclaimer, I reserve the right to add or subtract to any part of the syllabus as the semester progresses. I'll make every attempt to notify you of any changes during regular class meetings through Blackboard and or through email. All right. Just a quick note, I've never added anything to a class syllabus. If that at all makes you feel better, sets your mind at ease, I have never added a thing to a class syllabus. So we get into the assignments, and you can look at these largely on your own. So we will do a mini speech. I will dedicate our class time, our physical class time, to this because I think it's an important exercise. You get up and you speak in front of your peers, and I mean, I understand why it's nerve-wracking. I was petrified the first time I stood in front of a classroom. But, learning to speak publicly and answer questions, it's an important life skill. You've got to learn to do it. You need to learn to do it. You need to become as comfortable as possible with it before you move on to a four-year institution or your career. Having the confidence to communicate with somebody is going to serve you in very good stead for the rest of your life. And that's a fact. I do this assignment for that reason. I do this also because, we need to be able to hear ideas with which we may disagree without becoming disagreeable. We will only have civil discussions in this class. There will be nothing. No name calling, no insults, no anything over the semester. I'm not tolerating that. We should all be able to speak our mind without fear of that. It doesn't add to the debate. An insult, a name, whatever it is, it doesn't add to the debate. So that is another reason. So you're going to pick any politically oriented topic having to do with America or American politics. I will accept American culture if you want. You would like and prepare a 3-minute argument as to why you support or oppose the subject that you have chosen. So examples here. I support criminal justice reform because I oppose the death penalty, because I support gun reform. Now, please, 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 I don't want to have all of my speeches about I support criminal justice reform, I oppose the death penalty, I support gun reform. I'll help you find a topic if you need me to. All right. but those are just some examples. You're going to answer questions from classmates for no more than 3 minutes at the end of your prepared remarks, and it's as simple as that. All right, I'll pass around a sign-up sheet. I might have it when I see you on Wednesday. If not, it'll be next week for sure. And you're going to choose a class period to deliver your speech. Now, since we are very, very truncated on physical time together, there's not going to be really an opportunity to make up your speech if you miss it. Unless, of course, you have, a very, very valid excuse and you can prove it. But this is a valuable exercise. This is something that I give so much credence to, learning to speak publicly and argue a point of view and be able to defend it well, that I'm giving class time to it. So that is the importance with which I hold the assignment. And here's your rubric right here. I mean, I make a rubric with this on here, but that's how you're going to be graded. Did you stand up and deliver a 3-minute speech? You get 15 points for that. Now, there are students who choose to deliver a 30-second speech, and they get way docked. I do take all of this seriously. My discretion. Was there evidence of some practice of the speech beforehand? Yeah. Did you turn in a typed outline? 15 points. Did you turn in a correctly formatted bibliography and using at least 3 sources? And that was really... That's really just become a problem over the last couple semesters. Students have just used one source and sort of summarized an article, and that's not what I'm after. I want you to try to the best of your ability to make your own argument. So you're going to get a 0 right away. If you interrupt a classmate in the middle of the speech, you deliver an impassioned outburst or whatever it is, that it's a 0. I'm not kidding around. I really am not. If you interrupt a classmate who is trying to ask or answer a question also, I mean, it's life, guys. I mean, you should be able to sit there and listen to people with whom you disagree, sometimes profoundly, without feeling the urge to throw a punch or start screaming or whatever. And I'm going to insist upon you doing that. I really am. So Federalist, AntiFederalist Papers, you can certainly read the rest because we're running out of time here. I've got to keep these things around 50 minutes. The Federalist and Anti-Federalist Papers are just seminal documents. You need to be exposed to it. I would be a terrible, terrible, terrible political science teacher if I didn't put these in front of you. You can read these, but anyway, the link to the Federalist Papers is right here, congress.gov, and you need to fill out this worksheet here found on page 11 for every paper assigned. So if I say, if it's one of the assignments, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, this doesn't mean choose paper number 56 and write that on it. Write your, analysis of it here. That's do one for 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Students in the past, I've made them do more. This is a considerably cutting down on the amount of work on both our ends by you guys filling out this worksheet. So, again, for every paper, you'll get 10 points per worksheet. And there are only, when we get closer to that due date, November 17th, I have a book of the Anti-Federalist Papers, and I will get you all individual copies of these. but you're going to fill out the same worksheet. All right. And again, please don't just turn in your first assignment and it's paper number 52, and that's all you turned in. So book assignments also, and I showed you how to access your book. I've given directions if you're using your online textbook or if you're using your textbook. All right. We will do a term paper also. So you're going to pick an option from the below options and write a term paper on it. You can't go back on your choice. I won't take a rough draft written on Magna Carta and a final draft written on Representative Thaddeus Stevens. And I will certainly, you can peruse this at your leisure. You don't need me to read this verbatim to you. What I will say is you'll turn in a rough draft. And I do this because some students don't turn in a final draft. I'll grade the rough draft, put the grade in Blackboard, and the grade stands on Blackboard until you resubmit your paper. All right, so you will have a rough draft grade. It'll just be under the term paper assignment because some students choose not to do this and submit a final draft. Believe it or not, this is me trying to be helpful. So when we get to that point, don't worry, the grade will change. You just have to turn in a final draft. So you can resubmit your paper. Oh, wow. See, one thing you should know, if I make it through a class and only make one mistake, that was a very, very good class. You can resubmit your paper as many times as you would like up until not Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays prior to this, whatever that date is, November 10th. October 27th, Wednesday, October 27th. So any paper turned in after that date, when you turn in your rough draft, that's going to be considered the final draft, unless we've spoken previously. And you can go through these choices, and please reach out to me with questions that you have. And that is about it. Here is a handy calendar listing every planned assignment that is due throughout the course of the semester. And I think the order in which they're due. Yeah. So look at that. You can even rip this out of the syllabus or print this out at home, whatever you want to do. Tack it up on your board, so you will never have an excuse for missing a planned assignment in this class. So now, 2 more things. I don't know how this got started. As I was saying, I don't know how this got started, but a couple of semesters ago, students just started referring to me by my first name. This may sound petty. I really don't like that. Mr. Parker. You could even drop the Mr. I'll respond to Parker. Please do not. I do not encourage you in any way, shape, or form to refer to me by my first name. I don't care if you're 15. I don't care if you're 50. I don't care if you're 85. And I've had a whole range of students here at ICC. That is just a personal preference of mine. And it also happens to be a question on the syllabus quiz that you're going to take on Wednesday. So I'll give you that one for free. Any questions, please reach out via email. I hope I didn't scare any of you off with this. That wasn't the intent. I talk a tougher game in the syllabus than what actually transpires in the class. If you have any concerns, do reach out and let me put your mind at ease. Okay. Other than that, I'll see you Wednesday. Don't forget, you will have the syllabus quiz handed to you pretty much when you walk in the door. You will also have the pretest. And that is that. See ya.